You're not in here.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Excuse me.
Big gold and a billfold.
Over a
So
little bit.
swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap. And when it pop.
Oh, missed it. Man, we got 4 people here, Rip.
4.
They knew I was coming back. Nobody's going to show up today.
Did they get the right day?
I'm a
well, we changed the thing, and
ratings buster.
then we're at noon today.
Yeah, it's concrete time, man.
Yeah, it's concrete, but it was 11 the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Shit, I've been busy all morning doing stuff, getting books in the mail. The new book coming out.
Show them.
Autograph. Let's see. Well, let me see. They got the old lesson from Rip Rogers' book, but it's a new one, and you got to get a new cover and stuff like that. But Caleb Hall did the number. He's supposed to be listening or today right now at Ask Rip Rogers live. He said he might get a question in there because he's in Thailand with his 4th wife or something like that. And he said he was actually married to 2 at one time, but they had different laws and stuff, so it was okay. But he should be listening right now, and he said he's going to get on here. He said it would be midnight his time. Of course, he could have ribbed me and not done it. So let's see.
He's here right now, Rip.
Vincent Prince is here. He's here. 5th wife. Okay. See, look, I talk out. Magic's there. There's the book, but I'll turn it on the other side because we're going to change the cover and stuff like that, because then I started reading, looking at this stuff, and I said, oh my God, that's about 3 hours of sitting on the shitter. But then again, my feet would be numb when I'd got up, and I'd probably tip over and fall down the steps, and I could be actually croaked. So anyway.
So when's the book come out? Is there a release date?
Well, not yet, because he's got to change the cover and whatever. He'll tell me whenever. We'll keep him. We'll tell everybody in TV land, everybody in podcast land, whatever. We'll let everybody know what's happening.
Vince the Prince, you got any idea on a release date? Very soon, he said. Very soon.
Okay, that's that. Very soon could be. That was honky tonk. Would say soon, baby.
Could be today.
What. Yeah, could be. Could have been yesterday, and we missed it.
Well, I doubt if it was yesterday. He would have said it yesterday.
Yeah. Because he told me, he said he actually, I guess he called the post office and let me know it was in the box because it was sitting in there. But I got the book prints. Everything's cool. I told the story, another clip that's going to be playing later about how with the hitchhiker and the Samoans picking him up. And I guess they sort of, the guy ran in fear of his life when we had a gas stop and we never saw him again. Anyway.
Tell us more about that.
Well, this was just, I forgot about it. I just looked at it. I said, oh my God, look at this. I was talking about there were the 3 Samoans. I guess they were the Guinea headhunters who was working for Ron Fuller, like 86, 87, whatever the hell it was. And then we was in my big orange van, the scenic cruiser going down, and all of a sudden there's 3 Samoans in my van, and there's some little hitchhiker, some little skinny hitchhiker. So we come on in, I give him a Coke, and all of a sudden I went in sort of an effeminate character and give him the look and give it the old, ooh. And then Tio and Tapu and Koa were Tio's kids. All of a sudden Tio touched him like that. Then the other one went on Tio's arm and like they were fighting over him. So he probably wasn't in there more than 10 minutes total until we hit basically the next extra, whatever it was. But I bet he had some stories because I said, oh, tinkle time. We got to go tinkle. And then he disappeared. So I looked on both sides of the road and I never saw him again. And I sort of looked through the window to say, did he come in here and he's gone now or whatever? But somebody's got a story to tell. And because of Samoans, they was all talking Samoan talk too. So, and I couldn't understand it anyway. But then I couldn't understand Tio when he was talking English. So I'd rib him about that. I know I'm talking into the mic and I'm looking at you. And
Pretend I'm not here, Rick.
That's okay. I'm still plugging the Joe Stassi ICW t-shirt. I got the Dave Marquez, the free jacket of the United Wrestling, whatever it is. So look at the lights.
No, you You're barely on. See,
Well, you're
did
6
your
foot
chair-
6.
Did your chair drop?
No,
down again?
you fucking grew.
But
You
sit
at
up. It's
what?
like, you got to show that camera right there. Your shirt.
Oh,
They
well,
can't see it.
Well, I
It's-
can't
see, look, whatever you see here is what they see.
Okay, well,
So
I can't get
There.
any taller.
yeah, there you go.
I still well,
Just
I'm-
do like this.
Uh,
There.
yeah,
Look how
I'm-
tall you are now.
yeah, 5'3". Fun. You talk about being privileged, having the rich hot wife buying you this and that. You don't even have to really work. You get to train all day. You're in the prime of life with your hat on backwards.
You got a haircut.
I know. I said, "Oh my God, kayfabe that haircut there."
Shane Parks, $2
Oh.
super sticker.
Okay.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Shane. $2.
Appreciate that. Get this party started right.
Two
Get some
$2,
super stickers
baby.
going.
We got Vint the Print here.
Mr. Prince says there's a story in the new book about when Muhammad Ali gave you a Bible after you cut a
Oh.
promo on him. Do you still have the Bible?
Oh, it was at my house, and Muhammad Ali he drew a wrestling ring. I was going to Louisville Gardens to wrestle. He was outside with his brothers in the back of a big old pickup truck, signing Koran Bibles, or like the Bible, whatever his religion is, this and that. He saw me. He went right into character. I wish we had cell phones then, which we didn't have. But I was doing the Fred Sanford. He was doing it. He was doing the point, this and that. His facials, like he was always do. And he drew a wrestling ring, and he put to the king, Rip Rogers, best wishes, Muhammad Ali, blah blah blah. In parentheses, he had Cassius Clay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
but-
you don't have that? That'd be worth a fortune.
Somebody stole it out of my house.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, right. So anyway,
Man.
I'm gonna.
So how did he know you?
He didn't,
Then how did he know to work with you?
because he went there because we had a wrestling show there that night, and I just drove up because other wrestlers were coming there, but I went right over by him.
So he didn't know you, but he knew you were a wrestler.
Yeah, I had the bleach blonde hair, etc. was coming in character, and then I yelled at him. He yelled at me. Did the point? Come over here and I'll beat your ass and whatever. So all the religious people that were getting the free Korans, they had a nice little show. But yeah, great. Somebody coming to your house and stealing your shit, huh? And I don't even want to. Oh, think how much would that be worth? I wouldn't have sold some bitch anyway.
Yeah, well, it's still been cool to have.
Yeah.
Could have had it right here at Lila Studios. Too bad it's not in that box in the closet.
Right.
T Weasel in the house. Still Rip Rogers fan, despite him always eating all the cake when I used to visit his mom. Did you eat all the cake, Rip? Were you a cake hog? Did you not share it with T Weasel?
No, the fat little pig. Are you kidding me? With 8 hot dogs on his neck? Is he in green?
No, he's not.
Oh no, fuck him. Fuck the weasel. Fuck Manny the Weasel Valverde. I hope he never gets any snippets again in his life. Forget about your girlfriend R. Forget about your girlfriend, the ex-governor's daughter. You're going to be sitting at the lonely bar with the world's biggest neck, and he'll be telling me how he's doing this and that, and he ain't doing FA. Fuck all.
Speaking of green, Clayton's in green. Hello, gentlemen.
Well, Clayton's right there. He's got to be in green, and he's got to say hello, gentlemen.
Bull Diggin in green. Greetings from northern Germany. Shane Parks in green.
Good
Oregon?
morning from rainy Roseburg, Oregon. Hey, it snowed here.
Mhm.
Was that last night or the day before? Whatever, but it was cold. Well, not, and it's going to be 50 again in a couple days.
Greg Smith here in green.
Oh shit, where's he been? He must have been on vacation.
He was here, I think, last week. Or 2 weeks ago.
That might have been one of my lost weekends that I couldn't remember when you was doing the thing, and I was with the vet.
We got some green people here.
We got some green. Oh, we need green people. We need questions.
Big George is here.
And more questions. Is Frank Pickle Barrel ass here?
No, I don't see him yet.
Well, Frank, he's probably locked himself in the bathroom.
Big George wants to know, who are the Suicide Blondes? Who were the Suicide Blondes?
It was me, Jason Lee, and Derek King. And I was working like the manager, and Derek was coming in from Memphis every day. And then Jason Lee, as Marcus would say, Jason Leaf.
Now, did you put you guys together, or did Danny, or how'd that come about?
I can't remember. I think he said, here, we'll do some kind of blondes or whatever, and you guys mentor them in. And if this is when these guys were just starting and they were doing the best they can, but he said if the matches don't make sense, just switch places, you get in and work, but try and let them stay in. I said, I got you. Tell them what to do. They'll listen.
Shane Parks in green and a super sticker guy today. Ever worked in Hawaii? If so, who did you wrestle?
Let's see. In 1985, I was, here's a picture. Buddy Rose. This is a picture of me and Buddy Rose in Portland, Oregon. And look at Buddy's lei he's got on him around here. See, Hawaii used to be a territory, and this is like 1979. I got the Randy Savage robe off and one of his Go to Hell headbands. But Buddy just got back. Him and Piper used to go to Hawaii a lot. And Buddy come back to Portland with the Hawaiian lei. And when Piper went over there, he talked Rick Martel in to come in to work for Don Owens in Portland. And Buddy talked the Bushwhackers in to come in.
All right.
All right. Here we are again.
Internet dropped us.
Yeah. We're talking.
Stay with us today.
Yeah.
Must be all that snow blizzard we got.
Yeah. Talking about Hawaii. And the sheep herders come in to Portland. Buddy talked them into coming in there. But anyway, in 1985, I was supposed to go to I was working in Tampa, and I was supposed to go, and they had the world's biggest show. They had about 60 wrestlers on it. It would have been a goddamn 10-hour show. And I didn't want to go there. I was living in Tampa on the beach to begin with. And then all of a sudden, Wahoo says, well, let's go. I'll book it work. We'll work out there, this and that. Anyway, I didn't go. I said, no, I ain't going to go. So I didn't go. It was The Rock's grandpa, Peter Maivia, who run it. I said, what's going to happen, Wahoo? You're going to go out there. You're going to have that you're in goddamn Tampa. Now, why would the hell would you want to go all the way to Hawaii? I know you want to go to the bar and see the guys and have a good time and talk to shit, maybe play around the golf or something. You're going to go get there. There's going to be all these guys there. They're going to give us hot fucking checks, and then you're going to be fucking mad. So, and I ain't going. So I didn't go. So Wahoo went. He come back. I said, well, then there wasn't no internet then. I said, well, what happened? He said, well, they had a long show. Everybody showed up. They gave us a bunch of hot chicks. And then I come back. So anyway, I was like, goddamn.
So you didn't get any heat for not going?
No, I wasn't. No, Wahoo said no. They wanted me there. They wanted me there, but I said, no, hell, I ain't going. So I didn't go. Poop on them.
Got some people welcome. Hey, you said fuck probably 1,500 times last week. You don't have to say.
No, not 1,500.
I bet it was over 1,000.
Okay,
I would bet it.
Okay, go through it.
I if somebody pays me, I will. I'm not doing it for free. If you want to bet on it, I will. I hate to take your money though.
I'll bet on it.
The King said 1,500.
Oh God,
I'm saying 1,000.
Well, wait a minute. You just said. What did you say
1,000.
a while ago? I thought you said 1,300 or something.
I said 1,000.
1,000.
King said 1,500.
1,500. Hey, I bet the King, he ain't got nothing to do. He can just sit there and go through that. He can be the official guy.
I would do it for a bet.
Well, how much would it have to be?
$100.
Oh my God, I ain't. Hell no. I might lose.
I think you would.
God, can I imagine?
Oh, easy. I did a clip when we
Did
first
you?
started this thing, like 60 seconds. You did it like 240 times in
Do you
60
know whose
seconds.
fault it is?
Randy Savage
And-
Angelo Poffo.
No, no, his dad would never say that.
Oh, who then?
Yeah, it was Randy Savage and
Ole Anderson.
Anderson. It's both their faults. So they had me saying fuck every other word.
Well, I
So
don't care if
Ole,
you-
if you was around, I'd put. No, I wouldn't. No, he'd kill me. And Randy, no, thank you. I ain't gonna mess with him.
bull digging, drinking.
But Bull's not drinking, is he? Is Pickle Barrel ass here yet?
Nope. Some of the guys welcome me back. Thanks. Appreciate it. Some of you probably don't like I'm back. I don't give a shit, but to you that do. That's cool.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Are you ribbing me?
Clayton, do the shirts come in triple XL tall? My wife wants one.
Holy shit. What about your girlfriend and your boyfriend? You know.
So, how tall is your wife, Clayton? Do they come in that size, Rip? Do you know?
Hell if I know.
Clayton, the best thing to do would be go to Pro Wrestling Tees and check it out and see.
Yeah, get you another Hustler Rip Rogers shirt while you're at
You
it.
just click on the thing and it'll give you all the sizes you can get. But I think you can, actually. Greg Smith said, I've listened to a couple of Bob Roop's podcasts. He said this week he has some Rip Rogers stories to tell.
Uh-oh.
What do you think of that?
Well, hey, Bob's a good storyteller. I'll tell you that.
Have you talked to him lately?
I was at some one of the Fan Fest conventions with him. It's been in the last 6 months. I can't remember where it was at. Speaking on the internet, I've been listening to all Ken Patera's stories.
Oh, yeah?
Oh man, he's a legitimate athlete. He was one of the world's strongest men. He talks some shit. He backs it up. He tells some great stories.
So does he have like a YouTube channel? Is that
he's somehow anytime there's something on or whatever, I guess if I got into it, I guess they all throw that shit my way then. I'm not exact. I'm Mr. Technology, so. But I love anything Ken Patera stories. He don't take no shit. That's for sure.
Let's see if we got any super chats down here. I don't see any.
No super chats, baby.
Hey, tell us. I saw you tweet the other day about Debbie Combs calling you. Can you give us a little insight on that?
Yeah, I was gonna. Shit. Yeah, Debbie Combs.
Tell them first who Debbie Combs is, just in case some people don't know.
Okay, Debbie Combs is the daughter. Her real name is Debbie Stostecki, and she's the daughter of the legendary wrestler Cora Combs. So in ICW, Cora would always be Lady Satan, and she'd work with the hood on. And Cora was such a good old timer, and her and Moolah didn't get along. So so Cora, I'd say Cora, whatever you want to do in the match is fine. And she always liked to go at least 25 minutes in a match.
So they wrestled each other? Is that
yeah. Oh, yeah. But she had the hood on, so you
Yeah.
couldn't tell who she was. And then she knew all Debbie's shtick. Debbie started working. I think she's about 17 or whatever. But Debbie always had the thing for the Macho Man. So she was a frequent visitor. Whenever she was in town, she would be staying at the Macho Crib or whatever.
Was she in WWF?
I don't think she was, but this was before WWF.
You want to give us any insight on the phone call at all?
Oh, anyway, she just called out of the fucking blue, and I was at the Dollar Tree shopping, and I was on the phone with her over an hour and a half, just talking. And when I went there, I said, "Why in the hell did I come in here? This or that?" But I was just sitting there talking out loud, cussing like a sailor. And she's one of the greatest talkers as a girl. She rivaled me as far as profanity. She was fucking awesome. Debbie Combs was. She could throw out the shits, motherfucker, you fucking asshole, and stuff like that. But Debbie's a hell of a cusser. Great worker, good talker, and she could be one of the boys.
Man, just think we could have had that hour and a half conversation right here on the show. Wouldn't that would have been cool?
Well, I couldn't tape it. How do you tape it when you're?
Well,
on
you
the
don't have to
phone with
tape it. You just
somebody?
tell her, "Hey, why don't you come on my show and we'll have this conversation again."
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. George says, "Who was the booker who asked you to go blonde, or did you just do it on your own, or did somebody ask you to do that, Rip?"
I'm trying to think. Nobody asked me to.
No.
Let's see. I put the frosting in my hair first, so it wasn't completely blonde.
Frosting? I don't really remember that.
Well, I don't know if he was born yet. When I went to Mississippi, because I had when I worked for Nick Goulas, I had the black hair, I had the black afro, and I had the big pick in it and everything.
Now, did you have a perm or was that natural?
No, hell no, it was perm.
Oh, it's,
So every so often I'd have to get it done. And then when I'd have the afro pick and I had that big old pick sticking in that head, it sticks straight out. So I was that was when
I heard Cornette talking the other day about Dick the Bruiser getting a perm at the age 50.
oh yeah, Bruce,
53. What do you
yeah.
think? What do you think of Dick the Bruiser's perm in his old age?
Yeah. See, he always had the burr haircut when he was young, and then as he got older, when I was working him, he had the permanent. So there was old Bruiser with the permanent.
Were you a fan of that? That's my question. Did you like his perm?
I just thought I didn't even know what a perm was at that time. I just knew his hair was curly. I said, "Oh, he grew out and it got curly." I didn't know. I didn't.
So is that why you got a perm? You copied the Bruiser, or why?
No, I don't know why I did. Hell, this was 19 whatever it was.
Shane Parks wants to know: did you ever work with Barry Windham or Kendall Windham or their dad, Blackjack Mulligan?
Okay, I worked with Blackjack Mulligan. I was working for Wahoo in Tampa, and I got embarrassed. All he wanted to do, Blackjack Mulligan was a fucking giant, and he was. I said, Jack, quit fucking selling me. I said, I'm gonna beat you in on a fuck finish. And what happens? I said, quit giving me he said, you're full time. I said, but you're goddamn Blackjack Mulligan. Act like Blackjack Mulligan. You're the fucking star. You're the goddamn legend. And he was such a nice guy. Barry was he was so laid back. That's when we had the famous story where I got the keys out of the toilet when he dropped them in there out of the shitter and stuff like that. But Barry didn't give a shit about the match. He was right there. He could call anything on the fly. Hell, he was about 6'6", and he could do everything a smaller guy could do. Barry Windham was just great, and Kendall was the little brother, and he was when he started, he was just skinny as a rail. And no matter how much he force fed, I said, Kendall, look at your dad and look at your brother. So you're because Barry was very thin when he started, but then you get into that wrestler diet and the wrestlers, they like their beer, so they're going to get that extra calories, so they're eventually going to be real big. But Barry Windham he was a hell of a talent. He was great in the ring.
Shane Parks in green and a super sticker guy today. I just lost the question. Shit. I must be way, way off. Well, here's one. Did you ever work with Sherry Martell? That's not the question I was going to ask, but he asked about Angelo Poffo in Oregon is what he originally asked. What was Angelo like? So when was Angelo out in Oregon? When was he out there?
I don't know if he was. Lanny was out there. But I don't know if Angelo ever worked out there.
I don't know how I missed that question. Give me 1 second. Shit, we got all kind. Oh yeah, he worked here in Oregon in the 1950s? He said.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about Angelo. Angelo was a big major star on the Dumont network. And he was seen it was wrestling from Chicago. So when you got that, he was going all over the world as a major superstar. Now, when Lanny and Randy, he went full-time wrestling. He was a school teacher for years and years in Downers Grove. He was a PE teacher. And when Lanny and Randy graduated and he quit teaching and he went on the road. But it was hard to get all the Poffos together because that's 3 spots in a territory.
Yeah.
And so they was in Amarillo, Pensacola, Charlotte, and stuff like that. That's where he got the idea to have ICW. They'd make their own territory because they wanted to stay together and work together. Just like any father and his sons, you didn't ask, well, they'd use Randy for so long, but they didn't, and then, or maybe him and Lanny might tag, but then they didn't. And then a lot of times, Angelo was working as Lanny's brother. He was one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said they were the Popo brothers because Randy was working part-time because he played minor league baseball. and then he was let's just say he was pencil thin then. But then he'd come back and be the Spider, or he was Randy Poffo, or he did something else under the hood. And then Lanny, as soon as he graduated, then Angelo went on the road again because he just wanted to be on the road with his boys.
Switching families, but it just kind of came to me. Did Lawler and Brian Christopher ever wrestle? Like, did they ever acknowledge them being father and son ever in like Memphis? Or they were both in WWF at the same time too, when Brian Christopher was too sexy, whatever, and Lawler was an announcer. But I don't feel like they ever acknowledged they were father and son, did they?
I don't know if they did or not. I didn't really watch Memphis wrestling.
Oh, man.
Well, I was working.
Well, I understand.
Yeah. So, and I usually didn't work whatever show I was on. I had the old VCR and would have the automatic, and it would tape it.
Well, I don't think they ever did in Memphis, unless it was late when Memphis was not really Memphis anymore.
Memphis anymore, yeah.
All right, I know we're going to disagree on this because we already had a text battle on it. Go ahead and tell the people how much you love this Mike Tyson fight and blah, blah, blah. Tell them.
I talked about it on the thing that's going to play when you play.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
so you recorded something today on it?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I basically said it wasn't real. Basically said, talked about the one when Muhammad Ali had to fight 50 years ago with
a wrestler,
with Inoki, and Ali got paid $6 million at 50 years ago. In today's money, oh my God. And Ali thought it was just going to be an exhibition, and the Japanese mafia come in and wanted him to do a job. He said, "No, I ain't doing no job." So they went out there and had the world's, it was 10 times worse than the Mike Tyson thing. Antonio Inoki, who was one of the wrestling gods, he laid on his back. He tried to kick Ali in the leg.
I've seen that clip. Yeah.
And then they laid there for 15 rounds. And I sat there at the Vogue Theater downtown. I think that's where I watched it because I was 22 years old and just graduated from college and watched that thing. The good thing, I got to see Dory Funk Jr. work against Jack Briscoe. I could not believe it because I was used to Dick the Bruiser wrestling, or the Sheik, or the old Nick Goulas, or whatever like that. And I got to see the great Dory Funk and the great Jack Briscoe. Oh my God. I did a 30-minute draw, 30-minute Broadway. I could not believe how great it was. And then I had the downer of the Ali's thing. It wasn't Ali. It was Inoki. He was scared of Ali.
Well, the question was about Tyson and Paul. You talked about Ali and Inoki's, but he did do a video on it. So George and whoever else wants to know, checking the YouTube channel. I'll get that one out first. He just recorded before we went on live today. So I'll get that video out. I thought the fight was a bunch of shit. I hated every minute of it. I don't think Tyson tried at all, or else he was just old, one of the two.
Well, he had all the unwritten, all the things. If he would have knocked him out, he wouldn't have got paid.
Has anybody ever seen that to be fact? Everybody keeps saying it was in the contract, but I've not heard anybody actually say it as fact or seen the contract.
Well,
I don't know.
Anything I repeat, hell, I wasn't there. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. I just know that no matter what, Jake Paul made $40 million and Tyson made $20 million.
Hated every second of it. We got a super chat, though. We got to skip right to that. That's one way to get your question on here for sure. Super chat, Bull Diggin. Did you wrestle Bruiser Mastino in '92 over in Germany or anywhere else, I guess, for that matter?
I don't think I did. Chubby Mastino, Bruiser Mastino. Regal would call him Chubby, so he'd get mad.
Was he chubby?
Oh, my God, he was fat. He was huge. Let's say he was reels of cotton, and he had a lot of confidence, which he shouldn't have had, especially in the shower room. Whenever he'd be hiding that little thing, I'd pull that towel down. I said, "Oh, is that it?" No wonder you ain't got no girlfriend.
So do you know if you ever wrestled him anywhere?
I don't think I did.
One of the Pawns of Destructions here. I can't remember if it was number
Vito.
1 or number 2.
I don't know which number it was, but it's Vito.
Just remember that one. It was like a lumberjack match. You were like, "I know who you are," or something. I'm sorry, or something, something like. I don't remember how it went, but it was funny. What else we got? Italian in the house. What's up, buddy?
Time.
He's been here, I think. Any Iron Mike Sharp stories? I used to think Iron Mike Sharp was so tough, and then he gets in WWF and loses every match.
Well, before when he was at Watts, he was like, he was a big superstar.
Yeah.
I worked with him, and he was like me. He was sort of fucking nuts, where he'd be working out all day.
Yeah, we've had those. Who was it? Oh, Nova. Or was it Nova? It trained out there that told a bunch of those stories, I think.
Probably
when he was on here.
And then after he was done wrestling, he'd be working out again.
Yeah.
I said, Mike, don't fucking rib me with the workout shit, because if you worked out all the time, you would look like it, and you don't look like it. So that ain't my fault.
Well, he didn't look bad.
No, but he would look like he would look like I guess he was. Anyway.
Yeah.
I remember working with Mike, and he was a dream to work with, and he was a big, strong guy, and he'd always had the loaded forearm thing, right? So we worked the whole thing, but I had the chain, and we were both heels, but he was totally babyface. And then I pulled the chain out, right? So I had the chain and hid the chain the whole fucking time. At the end, I went for the thing. He blocked it. I dropped the chain, and then he loaded his thing with the ref, and then he knocked me senseless, and they carried me out. And he was the big baby face. But that was over a 20-minute match, and it was just so fun working with the great Iron Mike Sharp. That was a trip.
William Lynn is in green. He is a green guy, Rip. How were the Rats in Des Moines? Do you remember that in particular?
No, I really don't remember the Rats in Des Moines or whatever like that. But we was at Des Moines a lot, so they had to be good, or they wouldn't have run to town.
Hey, look who's here in green. Frank made it.
Frank's Pickle Barrel ass finally here. We've been waiting in righteous anticipation. Of course, then again, I get confused sometimes, and we was on 11 the last 2 weeks, and Frank might have been arguing with his wife about something. Or his boyfriend about something, but he come on here a little bit late. But Frank Pickle, ladies and gentlemen, Frank's Pickle Barrel ass is in the building.
Big George says, who was the biggest real life miser, Angelo or Randy? I don't even know what miser means. I've never really known. Is it cheap? Yeah, I kind of assumed that after.
Angelo Popo was wrestling as the carpetbagger, and he would have dollar signs on his jacket. And so, but I named him the miser. And so he just changed to being the miser.
Because to me, his look, he had like the red, white, and blue on, the nice looking mask, and the coat or cape or whatever it was. It didn't look like a cheap person at all.
Well, if you all of his promos were about saving money.
Oh, were they? I don't remember those.
Oh my God. If you'd just start laughing. He'd be talking about a match, but the main thing is, when you go to this store, there's this shortcut. Go to this aisle, you'll see a deal on this or that.
Well, it didn't match his look.
Well, he was.
He looked like $1 million.
Oh yeah,
well, in that outfit.
Well, it was an expensive outfit or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like Randy had those robes for years, and they were expensive as shit. He said, "No, spare no money on your gimmick. Your gimmick you will make more money by having looking that way." But the miser, Jesus Christ, could he talk? Wow.
Shane Parks in green and a super chatter. Ever work with Steve Regal?
I was on a lot of shows.
Who was the AWA light heavyweight champion? Not to get confused with Lord Steven Regal.
Yeah, he was Steve Regal. I think he lives in North Carolina now. He was supposed to be on our show one time, but then he said, "I'll call you," and he didn't call me. So I'm still waiting on that. But he was a local boy from Indianapolis. Went to good old Pike High School, like my.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah,
I thought he was from Indy, but I didn't know he went to Pike.
And he was married to Wilbur's daughter, and then there was Spike married to to Charlotte,
Bruiser's daughter.
Yeah, so he was twice. Well, of course, Romer was married to her, so she been a little bit nuts. And then the Golden Lion was married to her too. So then they had the picture of all three the ex-husbands, and then she managed them one night. So that was cool. I saw Spike last year at one of the conventions. That son of a bitch is still jacked, looking good.
So Romer, what was his working name?
Saul Creechman, which was like half Saul Weingroff and half Eddie Creechman.
I heard Cornette talking about it. Cornette put out a clip on Dick the Bruiser, and he was talking about Saul Creechman.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was wild that Cornette's talking about Romer. I never knew him as Saul Creechman. I met Romer way late. Who else we got in here? Somebody was asking about, and I don't even remember who or saw it, but said you and Brenda were in a mixed tag with Moolah. You remember that? How'd that go? They want to know. How was Moolah to work with?
Oh shit, Moolah was just Moolah.
Yeah.
Moolah was everything was her. Whether if she's a heel, she beats the baby face up. If she's a baby face, she just wants to take everything. Just a fucking bitch, you know. But she controlled all those girls, took their money. But then again, they got to be in the wrestling business, and what the hell? The fabulous Moolah.
Vito says nothing beats smoking some reefer and listening to the Ripper, the greatest Seymour Punk ever. Man, nothing like getting high and listening to Rip on a Friday afternoon, man.
So is he saying
living the dream?
You're the greatest Seymour Punk ever?
I guess.
I guess Manny the Weasel, he's gonna say, well, you didn't take the trailer jack. You didn't fucking no sell it. You didn't go boop, 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 and move over so Trash could trailer jack you.
So who was the Seymour Punks? Was Lucky in it? I mean, Steelman wasn't a Seymour Punk, was he?
I don't know. I just remember I had Lucky and Steel down there in OVW, and they would come out, and if I had a match, then they would be the Seymour Punks. Then you was a Seymour Punk for a while.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah.
But you had to be from Seymour to be a Seymour Punk, even though Lucky was a sort of like Crothersville and Steelman was in between. So anyway.
Bull Diggins said any Seymour Punk stuff on YouTube. I don't know, man. We might. I'm sure there is. Probably some on our channel. I'll have to look and see. If not, I can put some on there. Who got more ladies, Frank wants to know. Rip Rogers or Mark Shira?
Oh, God.
That's a great question. I actually really like that question, Frank.
It wouldn't have been Mark Shira, that's
no?
for sure. Oh, no. No, I was busy being an athletic nerd.
So in high school, Mark Shira didn't do real well?
Well, I always messed with the girls and whatever, but when Rip Rogers was invented, it was a little bit different. When you're on TV and you're jacked and you got all these women just wanting to do whatever, a little bit different.
Oh, we got to go right to this. Drew Wilson just joined the chat and came in with $5.
How'd I like the snow? I hated that.
Tell them about the snow, Rip.
Oh,
$5 super chat.
Oh my God. The snow, they must have had this much. The thing about it is of course it got on my windows, and I want to drive, and I got all that trouble, and I got to take it off the back, the side things are all wrecked because I can't see. But I actually took my time and took a little wash rag out there and wiped everything off. So, because I didn't have the fucking scraper, because I was driving the Romer mobile, so there ain't nothing in there like that. But I hated the snow. But looking out the window right now, the snow is basically gone. So we had the shit one day or whatever it was. But I noticed when we had that, all the people were in a fucking panic.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, just yelling and screaming and in a hurry and everything. I said, damn, I'm just going to go to the gym and, Taco Bell it and whatever. I'm going to relax in this shit.
Did you go do make any snow angels?
No
Rip?
Snow angels, but the Weasel did when he was taking the trailer jack. And he scooted over so make sure he didn't get potatoed.
Greg Smith said there's video of Tyson pulling punches. There was huge openings. Tyson would start to throw and then pull his punch. I did see a couple of those videos out where he went to and then just stopped.
Yeah.
And they were wide open punches.
Well, no, Jake was
clear shots.
Jake was so fast that that Iron Mike said, I ain't going to waste the energy. I'll just half-ass waste it and stuff like that. But you just think they could have a rematch and put, ladies and gentlemen, this time is real. Last time we got you. Then they'll do it again.
I don't know if I want to touch this one. Jerry Lawler's 16 to 60 phrase is 16 to 16. I think we'll leave that alone. Frank Kirsch in the house. He said he got paid more to fight when went all the way to the end. It was in the contract. Yeah, I keep hearing it was in the contract, but I've never heard any Tyson or Paul say it was in the contract or seen the contract. I keep hearing that, but I've not seen or heard any official. Ever wrestled Bobby Duncam Jr.? Shane Parks wants to know.
No, I don't know who Bobby Duncam Jr. was.
How about John Tolos?
John Tolos. He was the fucking legendary heel in L.A., in Los Angeles, in Mike LaBelle's promotion. When I was a kid growing up, and this is like 70, 71, 72, I got every wrestling magazine. They have he was the king. He was the king of the Los Angeles territory. Then I'd always have to watch. Then they'd always have him, and they'd have Mil Mascaras. I said, oh shit, I don't want to see no Mexican in it with a mask on, and all he does is prance around and spread his lats, and he walks like he's half effeminate. But what the hell, right?
Hey, I don't know this. Some people are talking about it. Kim Patera has a ton of great stories. He lived a hell of a life. He was in the Gagne camp with Flair. He still insists a teenager threw the boulder through the McDonald's through the boulder through the McDonald's window. Do you know anything about that story?
Well, that was when he went to prison for 2 years.
Oh, see, I don't know that.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, he went in to get hamburgers or whatever, and then he had to wait, or they had a bunch of hamburgers, but I guess they were filming a commercial or whatever. So they wouldn't give him those hamburgers. So he was all pissed off waiting on the line. And he ended up going to prison for 2 years for, said he threw that window through that brick, but.
So he threw something through the window, supposedly?
Oh yeah. Well, hell, he was
2 years. That seems like a long time to go to prison for that.
Yeah. But then again, you used to smoke a puff of marijuana and you'd be a lifer. They'd throw it away. Now, shit.
Did it hit anybody or anything like that?
I have no idea.
I've never heard that story. I'm out of the loop on the Kim Patera boulder story, apparently.
But this guy was so strong, one of the world's strongest men. He's in the strongest man contest and stuff like that. But he tells those great stories, don't take no shit. He's sort of like my hero. And last year I was at one of the conventions. I can't remember if it was Herb Simmons or not, but he was there. And when I meet guys or on the thing, I'm like a little kid again. If you were in the business before me, I idolized you, no matter what. So I didn't even talk to him. I was like scared.
Did you ever wrestle him?
Oh no, He was always WWF, AWA. He was a superstar. Yeah, his brother was the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Jack Patera.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was from Portland.
But he wrestled in Portland, didn't he?
I don't think he did.
I thought he did. No,
he might have when he was home or something. If so, they should have had him.
Well, how old is he compared to you?
He's older than me, probably 10 years.
Well, you just said you idolized him, but
yeah.
Huh. Drew Wilson, who did pay $5 for a how'd you like the snow question, so we'll get him on here for this one. Give us a good Bobby Eaton story.
Bobby Eaton was probably one of the nicest wrestlers you would ever meet. And it was funny, he would always be a heel. But he could, he wouldn't yell, scream. He wouldn't really act mean or this or that. He was a wrestling heel. He was a hell of a bump taker. And years ago, this is like in 78 when I was there in Nashville, Bobby had some great matches with our Broadways with Randy Savage, just doing everything athletically that they could. And Bobby was such a nice guy. I don't think he would hurt a flea, but it wasn't a rib. George Goulas was Nick Goulas's son, the promoter's son. And George was gangly. Anyway, they made Bobby be his partner so they could have a good team. And then, so of course, Bobby had to sell, and he was a baby face, and George would make the big comeback. But that's the life we were in the pro wrestling business. So what the hell? But Bobby was a great pro, and he was eventually Bobby was scheduled to go into Atlanta to work on the Superstation, and once he would have worked on the Superstation, he could have went anywhere and been a star. And I think it was the last night we were there, he had all of his stuff in the car. Somebody broke in his car and stole all of his bags.
Wow.
We always thought it was George Goulas, or he had somebody do it. Of course, George would have been helpless without Bobby. And then Bobby just gutted it up and stayed there, and then went back to doing what he was doing with George again. They were the jet set. The jet set, ladies and gentlemen. But Bobby was one of the nicest guys ever.
Paul Shaw might be new to the chat. I'm not sure. Welcome, Paul, if you are. If not, my bad. Iron Mike was some kind of Canadian boxing champion. Is he talking about Iron Mike Sharp or Iron Mike Tyson?
No, he's talking about Mike Sharp.
He was a boxing champ?
Yeah.
Frank says the world's in shock. Boxing isn't real. No shit. That Jamie Wingler, the legend from Seymour, Indiana, he gives me a call and he's like, I just can't wait to watch this fight. Tyson's just going to kill Jake Paul. I said, well, number one, Tyson's last 2 fights that he fought against real fighters 20 years ago, he lost to 2 no-names. So I'm not sure, maybe how good he is. Number 2, I don't think it's going to be real. He goes, what do you mean it's not going to be real? I said, I think it's going to be fixed where Paul wins. Tyson's not going to do anything to him. Paul has to win this match so we can have another fight.
Yeah.
He's like, so you think boxing could be fake? And I'm like, well, yeah, it can be fake. Of course it can. Listen to the show. Rips tried to fake boxing matches that he's told us about. Of course, fights can be fake.
And just think, I had a phony fight against Cody Koch, the Alaskan Assassin, who actually fought Klitschko for the heavyweight championship of the world.
When you say a phony fight, he would have probably beat you anyway, right?
He would have killed me. Are you kidding me?
So how do you make a phony fight with a guy that's already going to beat you? Just don't hit me too hard and I'm going to go down, or
I just showed him some stuff in the dressing room on how to do stuff. And then after he knocked me out in the first round, 90 seconds, which I took my own bump. I don't think he touched me, but I didn't want to get killed. Are you kidding me? The money wasn't that good.
So what was to his advantage to fake the fight, so to speak?
Well, he wanted to learn it because he had never done it. But and when the fight was over, I can't believe it. That was the most fun I ever had in my life. My God, can I do all my fights this way? I said, well, this is sanctioned under the State Athletic Commission, so now you'd have to get a different name or whatever like that. But the next time I saw him on TV, he was at the Forum or the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, and he had bleached blonde hair after he yeah. So Cody Koch, and I told you the story about him getting choked out. They
kill him?
Yeah, they killed him.
Who was it?
Let's see. He liked to get drunk, and he was a real badass. He was back home where he was working, and he went in some club, and somebody fucked with him, and I guess all the bouncers jumped on him because he was like the local legend. Cody Koch, the Alaskan Assassin, won 11 tough man contests, legit. So they all was scared of him that he might get away or hurt them. So then everybody was.
They kill him?
Yeah. He died.
Like in the bar?
Yeah. Choked him out.
God, I gotta write that down. How do you spell his last name?
Koche. Cody Koch, the Alaskan Assassin.
Wasn't that like at the Louisville Gardens where you fought him or somewhere?
Yeah.
You don't have that on tape?
They didn't have.
I'm sure somebody taped it.
No, but I didn't have a phone, and I wasn't smart enough to have it taped. You know what I mean?
Jay Parks wants to know the first wrestler me or you have ever met.
What was the first wrestler you or Vaughn ever met? God, let me see. I remember.
Surely mine was you, I would have to think.
Well, I was a teenager and went to, I met Cowboy Bob Ellis in Bedford, Indiana. They had Bruiser had wrestling at the Armory. And for some reason, Cowboy Bob Ellis walked by and I talked to him. You're Bob Ellis. Yeah. So for a while, I was going by Mark Ellis, like I was his son, right? What a fucking Mark! What a rib!
You can keep her talking. They can't see this up here.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to find it. I thought I had that picture. Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can
Oh, there's long. There's your.
share this somehow.
There's Vaughn Lilas. Oh, on top of me.
Trying to share something here. Let's see. There it is. I don't know if you people can see this now or not. Hope so. I mean, I'm at that I was let's see, that's April of 78, so I was 4, not even 5 years old yet. And there's my sister and the hustler Rip Rogers. So I'm sure I didn't meet anybody probably before that would be my guess.
So
Look at that. Look at that. Look at those pants I have on. That is awesome.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I got had the 5.0 trunks on.
Doesn't get any better than that right there. That was at the Armory, I believe. Surely, I think.
Probably.
That picture was
Did you get
classic.
that green thing? Who's that green thing?
Yeah, that was he got that. That was the snow question. We haven't had a super chat since then. Hell of a mullet, guys. I don't even know if those were mullets. Those were like
Just hair.
bowl cuts. I don't know what they were.
Well, my mom used to cut my hair, and then well, she did because I used to go to Downing's Barber Shop downtown Seymour. It was about 3 doors before you was going to Larison's, and what happened was the barber raised it from $1 to $1.25.
Yeah.
So when that happened, my mom went out and got some clippers, learned to cut our hair, and she always cut me and Greg and Brett's hair all those times, and she just so.
Well, she must have cut me and my sister's hair too, because we had the same haircut as you. Did she cut my sister? And
No, I don't know who cut your hair. You
It's just a joke, Rip. That's a
Oh.
rib. Like I'm ribbing you right there. That's a
Oh,
joke.
okay.
Every time I do a joke, you act like I'm being serious.
Oh.
I know your mom didn't really cut my hair.
Okay. I was just wondering. So if you did, I would have forgot that.
Paul
too.
Shaw's got some heat with you. It looks like Rip. He says, "What the fuck? Get off the white port." What does that mean?
Don't have a clue.
Looks like he's picking a fight with you to me, Rip.
Oh, well, Paul, if you can see this, great. A, fuck you. B, fuck you. C, go back to A and B if you don't fucking like it, whatever it was.
Bobby Duncan's father. I don't know if he's a wrestler. Bobby Duncan.
Bobby Duncam.
He was trained by all the Dory Funk, Terry
yeah.
Funk.
Oh, hey, what's so funny?
So do you know Bobby Duncam?
I just know who he is.
Okay, well that's his son.
Oh, is this really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Bobby Duncan was a big ass fucking star. All the guys from West Texas State, whether it be Tully Blanchard, Marced Solis, who was Tito Santana, Dory Funk,
Yeah.
Terry Funk, Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, all those guys played football there, and they all became great wrestlers. But the thing about it was they had a shitty football team.
So Bobby Duncan Jr.
Okay.
was Bobby Duncan's son, which you probably should have made that connection, maybe.
yeah, but
possibly.
but a lot of times wrestlers will just have.
Oh yeah, true. Like
Yeah,
Dick the Bruiser Jr. is
Yeah,
not
and
really.
it's not Dick.
yeah.
He wasn't related to Dick.
So
the
he was
Bruiser.
born in '65 in Amarillo, Texas, according to Wikipedia,
Shit. Hell yeah.
and died in 2000 at age 34.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, an accidental overdose. Don't know anything about that or not, but there you go. Now we know who he is.
Yeah.
I remembered him. I think he was in WCW, wasn't he? Wasn't he in WCW?
I don't know. I can't remember shit. That was a long time ago.
Anyway, Greg Smith said it was a 40-pound boulder that Patera threw. Sato and
Saito. Yeah, I remember Saito went to prison too.
And Patera also fought the cops when they came to arrest him. So maybe that's why.
Probably.
Probably wasn't necessarily the boulder only, but if you probably beat up a bunch of cops, that
Yeah. Well, Saito, I think he was on. I don't know if he was on the Olympic team, but he was a big time Japanese shooter, and then guys didn't mess with Patera.
yeah, well, yeah. George wants to know how tough was Miss Linda. She had to be kind of tough because you knocked her
Well,
head off once, and
They
came
always
back.
talked about that Adrian Street was the killer but Linda was the badass of the family. And when she was a heel, oh my God, she would beat the shit out of those fans and stuff. But I clotheslined her once, but what the hell,
Yeah,
right?
you took her head off.
Well, she knew how to sell.
Frank wants to know if you've ever given a girl a throat hug on a bus.
A throat hug, or I don't know what that
Frank
is.
loves asking wrestling questions.
Well, at least Frank Pickle Barrel ass is in the house, and that's all that really matters. We need those. The questions were you got to PSA the jingle, the Miyazaki, with that verbiage Snabitz.
Talyon said to watch Don Morocco versus Barry Windham. Morocco beats the piss out of Windham.
Well, this is
any recollection of that match?
No, but this is probably when Barry was just starting out. Morocco's one of the greatest motherfucking workers. Jesus Christ. He was just great. Don Morocco was. And Barry Windham, Barry was so talented. God, he's huge now. Well, he's just like his dad, hell, he filled out finally. Barry Windham was great. I know we was talking about the Bobby Eaton story a while ago. You know how I go back and forth. Every time I saw Bobby, I'd rib him because he punched me in the ear one time and he busted my eardrum. And I reminded him every time I'd see him. I say, Bobby, my ear still hurts. I said, it's your fault. Whenever there's if there's loud noise, it cracks. And I can still today, I can like crack my own eardrum and stuff by just putting pressure on it. But anyway, thanks, Bobby. He probably did it on purpose too. I know you're in heaven, but I'm sure you did it on purpose as a rib. He said, "Oh, Brisky, I wouldn't do that."
Vito wants to know who had the better hot dog neck, Manny the Weasel or Mr. Black.
Oh my God, it was Manny the Weasel. But then again, Mr. Black, when he was that super heavy, he did have some good fat rolls or some good hot dog neck things. So
he didn't look anything like he used to.
Oh no, he I guess he had that stomach staple or whatever the hell it was. But he's so skinny now, I would have known who the hell he was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's better to be thin than heavy.
Rip, isn't there a story about grabbing the Barry Windham keys out of the toilet? Yeah, I talked about it today, didn't you? Didn't you mention that today?
I just mentioned it, but I didn't. I hadn't told it for a while.
Hez the Machine. Is that a new listener? Do you know Hez the Machine?
Well, I can't even.
Hez the Machine. Now, he also wants to know about your Human Wheels. How did you get in the Human Wheels video by John Mellencamp?
Well, I just happened to be training at Crossroads Gym in Seymour, Indiana, where Vaughn Lilas used to train. And John Mellencamp's dad come in. It was a Saturday morning. He said, "Mark, can we borrow some weights?" I said, "Yeah, what you need?" So John was there, John Meyer. So they took some weights down. He says, "We're making a video down at Greg Ashcraft's old house. You want to be in it?" I said, "Well, hell, I don't know." I said, "You got to pay me." She said, "Well, follow me on out there. There's at least a 3-minute ride away from the gym or whatever." So I go there and there's John. And, "Hey, Shari, what's up?" And his dad said, "Hey, that'd be a good idea if Mark would get in there." He said, "Oh, Shari, yeah, you want to be in the video?" I said, "Well, you got to pay me." He goes, "Pay you?" I said, "Well, goddamn, are you kidding?" "Yes, you got to pay me." He said, "Well, how about $50 in a buffet I got right there?" I said, "Well, hell, that sounds good." I said, "What do you want?" He goes, "Well, hell, you figure it out." So I jumped on the thing and just started posing. And I said, and did it about fucking 30 seconds. I said, "Well, that's good." He goes, "Is that it?" I said, "Well, you'll know what to do with it. You're the goddamn expert at this shit. You're the star. I'm just a fucking piece of meat. You're using me." So I got the $50 and had the free buffet. And thank you very much, Mr. Mellencamp. Well, I'll see you, Shari.
So is that how you, like, when you talk like him?
Yeah.
He sounds kind of like a little kind of dorky, kind of hillbilly. Well, is that how he is? I know he's from Seymour.
But what he does is when I see him and he'd see me, we go back to when
high school.
Yes. And you go right back to that age. You're acting like you're 18 because he was a fucking over as fuck senior. He was he was one of the popular guys. And then I remember he played at was playing guitar at one of the convocations at school. And he was talking, and it was so funny. He said, "Oh, we got it pretty good here in America. It's not too bad. We could be in." I swear he said Ethiopia, but it was Ethiopia. He started talking about that, and he didn't have a clue what he was talking about, right? As the music was, they was strumming in the background and shit. But anyway, just memories.
Yeah, that's
Human
wild.
Wheels video. It don't get any better than that.
Yeah. I know I've told it on here. My uncle Mike Thompson shooting Mellencamp with the starter pistol, and Mellencamp thought it was a real gun, laying there saying, "I've been shot. I've been shot." I'm
Really?
hit." Yeah.
Well, you never even told me that.
Oh,
one.
I've told it.
Then I forgot
Mike
it.
Mike thought Mellencamp was a punk, and I guess Mellencamp been harassing some of the guys downtown or something. Mike had had enough, so he had a starter pistol.
Well, Mike was a hood, right?
Yeah, pulled it out, put it to Mellencamp's stomach, and pulled the
Oh.
trigger. So
Well-
it popped.
Well, Mike was probably downtown with Everett Osborne Jr., Meatloaf. He was in John, and he would sit up there by the old farmers building next to the cleaners, I think. And then they don't. I said they're always holding the meters up.
Mm.
Remember how the parking meters?
Yeah.
They'd be there 24 hours a day. It seemed like doing nothing. Nice life in Seymour, Indiana, riding around.
Oh, I thought it was awesome. We still cruised town when I was in high school. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Well, it was until they brought Walmart into town. Then it all ended.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic when you were
No.
like saying that.
No, that was all we did was
Yeah.
cruise on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays was light.
No,
But
we
the
didn't do
fir-
Sunday ever.
Yeah, but the Fridays and Saturdays, hell, that was goddamn heaven. And then
Library
all-
parking lot was the turnaround
The
for
where?
us. That library parking
Oh yeah,
lot.
everything was a library parking lot, and all the girls from Brownstown they would all be driving around on Friday and Saturday night. Never a Sunday, but Friday and a Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Seymour boys always dated the Brownstown girls.
Yeah, but Mellencamp went down, said he was shot, said he was hit, shot, whatever. And then Mike's like, "Get up, you motherfucker. What even real?"
Oh,
Well, you know my Uncle Mike, right? Like, you know Mike Thompson, don't you?
Yeah, but I
With
don't
the-
know him
The
then.
mustache. I know, but
Yeah.
he's
Mhm. See, I didn't know him as. Where did he go to school at?
I
Did he go to school?
I don't know. He came from Hazard, Kentucky.
I know. That's what I was wondering.
I think he might have went to Scottsburg 1st.
Mhm.
I think, but
Well, oh God, well he's total redneck. That's awesome.
we said it in Hazard. They had dirt floors.
Okay.
So, and I want to say they had an outhouse. I don't know that. I can't remember if that's
Well,
true or not.
In Eastern Kentucky, where there are a lot of outhouses, and you couldn't get anything on the TV because of the mountains and stuff, unless you had one of it would be a trailer, an outhouse, and there would be that big, huge TV. You had to have a dish, like a big dish, to get any channels and stuff. And God, I remember my first night in Combs, Kentucky, which is right outside 3 miles from Hazard. They had the guy that walked in on his hands. He had no legs. And
Yeah.
then they had the girl that looked like a pig. She had facial hair. And I said, oh my God, incest at its finest. And all that happened in Hazard, Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Seymour population. I don't know. What is it? 20,000?
Okay.
I'm asking.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
question
It
they want to
used
know.
be 12, then it was 15. I don't know.
I don't know.
What it is. You could Google it because they have everybody.
Paul Christie story. While I'm looking up Seymour population. Yeah,
Well,
Paul Christie story.
I'll tell you this. Paul Christie was, when he was wrestling and he was a babyface, he looked good. And his matches, I hated his matches because he would do something and go back to a headlock.
Tell
Do
the people,
something.
Rip, I'm Googling
Do
over
something
here.
and go back to what he did was Paul Christie really knew how to work, but everybody else that I saw, they didn't storytell. But anyway, Paul Christie was the guy. I was wrestling some spot show with him for Dick the Bruiser, and he said, "Hey, the Poffos are going up to the Maritimes and promote for Emile Dupre. And they're going to be business partners, Randy and Lanny and Angelo." He goes, I said, well, I know. I said, I watched Angelo on TV and I didn't know who Randy was. But then I was partners with Lanny one night working for Nick Goulas the year before at the Christmas Spectacular for Nick Goulas in Nashville. So he said, here's Randy's phone number. Call him and tell him I told you to call him. So I called Randy up. He didn't know who the hell I was. I mentioned the thing with Lanny. And Lanny said, yeah. And Randy said, I said, no, I'm horrible. And I said, but I'll do anything you want. I'll do the best I can. I just want to fucking be a wrestler. So that was how I started out. I went to the Maritimes the first time with Jack Kruger, bounty hunter #1, who was Angel Ancevita's partner later on, and he became one of the Cuban assassins. He was from Danville, Illinois, and he used to always buy beer for Dick the Bruiser, so he'd always get to work more spot shows and shit. But he would chain smoke, and the first time we went to the Maritimes in '78, he come with me in my Pinto. We drove all the way there up and then all the way there back. But anyway, Christie started the whole thing.
Yeah, I was wondering. I left with a Paul Christie story. I go to the Google machine. I come back and you're talking about the Maritimes with
without
Jack
Paul
Kruger.
Christie, I never would have met Randy Savage. Without reading Randy Savage, I wouldn't have got into ICW. Without getting to ICW, I wouldn't have really been a pro wrestler. I would have been stuck working twice a month for Dick the Bruiser and never got any better. So thank you very much, Paul Christie.
All right. So according to the internet, Rip, 1990, Seymour had a population of 15,770. 2023, 21,666.
Good, 666, right?
Okay. Yeah. So
let's just say they got a lot of foreigners in there now, like every place else.
Yeah, it is correct. Well, got any super chats left? We're about ready to wrap this thing up.
Shit, we're on fire, baby. We need some super chats so I can stay on here talking shit, talking this and that.
That's what it's going to take. I got to go record some other stuff. Hey, Brendan Adams might be new to the channel. How was it working with Melina? You didn't?
I didn't work with Melina. She was just there.
You trained her a little bit.
Well, yeah, but those tough enough people don't count.
She wasn't tough enough.
Wasn't she tough enough?
No. She came from like California, I think, like a school out there. I don't think Melina was tough enough.
I thought you was because Matt was tough enough. Matt Capitelli.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Well, but they were.
Yeah, all of a sudden when
she dated Nitro, but I don't think I don't think she came through tough enough.
Okay, see, I just thought.
I mean, she did kiss me. Remember? I don't know if you remember that or not.
You was giving her some tongue, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I seen her at a couple conventions. I think you was there, wasn't you?
Yeah, we saw her at a convention.
But when I would be at OVW, all of a sudden you got some more guys in your class, huh? You know, they didn't tell me this. Well, I said, well, get in line, and that's about it. So,
Bull Digging going to keep this show going for a little bit. He's got a $2 super chat. Who brought you to Germany in '92?
Well, who ran Germany in '92? It was Otto Vance. As I called him, Big Fat Otto, nice guy. We ran 70 days in a row in one town, and then another one was 6 weeks. Hanover and Bremen was the ones we were there the longest. I remember we ran Dortmund and lost the sponsors. The Otto lost the sponsorship, so we was dark for like 3 weeks. So I went to Regal's house in England, in Blackpool, and worked in England for 3 weeks for All-Star Wrestling and Brian Dixon. And Brian Dixon, he just died here within the last year, but he was that's where Regal would Regal worked for Big Daddy. He was Big Daddy's partner. Big Daddy was the big fat guy when Regal was working when he was young, fit. Dave Taylor, all those guys, I met him in Germany, and then I'm the guy that got him into I got Regal into WCW, and then Regal got fit in, and Regal got Dave Taylor in. So if it wasn't for Otto having me come into Germany, what it was Alex Wright's dad fell off a roof and broke his leg. He was supposed to wrestle me for some kind of championship, and Otto said, well, he's hurt, so you just come back full tour next year. So that's what I did. So that's how. And then Peter William, who was Otto's partner, we did Austria first, which was Graz, where Arnold was from, Seeboden, and then we was in Vienna for 6 weeks. And he said, and I was a heel. I come in as a heel, and he said, can you work a poof gimmick? I said, what's a poof gimmick? He said, oh, like the homosexual gimmick. I said, oh, hell, I can do Adrian Street. Yeah. So he said, you do that the rest of the tour. I said, great. So I was a baby face doing an effeminate character, which was easy, which was great. So then I did that in Japan too when they beat me up so bad the first day. Me and Danny, big old badass Danny Spivey, got beat half to death, and he was afraid to fight him back because Danny was a big fighter, and because he didn't want to get fired first night in. So, but I just changed character. I just went right into poof gimmick. And then that's when Joe Higuchi, who was Baba's main referee, said, Baba-san, of course, Baba kayfabed me the whole time. He still spoke Japanese. He said, you do that from now on every night. You be an Okama boy. So I was an Okama boy from then on.
Did you answer the question?
What was the question?
Who brought you in Germany in '92?
Yeah, big Otto.
You did?
Big
Okay.
Otto Vance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you actually answered.
Well, I answered it,
question.
then I kept on going.
George says, did you ever meet Ronnie P. Gossett?
Oh, my God, Ronnie P. Gossett. Me and Randy, we would work Chattanooga TV, where Ronnie P. Gossett was from. I think he had a crush on Randy Savage. So he would take me and Randy and his dad, Angelo, to B's Buffet, and he would always pay. And I think he was just in love with Randy. But Ronnie P. Gossett, when he was a heel, it was so funny. He would, as a rib. Now Ronnie P. had those fucking jowls, and when he'd be a manager for Jarrett, if he was a baby face, he could baby face, and you loved. And he would turn heel. He'd do that Fargo strut, and he'd get that head going. Them jowls and that fat in his neck would be going everywhere. The legendary Ronnie P. Gossett. I got Ken Lucas one night. So he was working with, I think it was Chris Colt in the ring, and they must have went 10 minutes gone or 10 minutes. And Ronnie Gossett always did the same thing. It'd be 5 minutes gone, 5 minutes. And Ken Lucas stands up and said, fuck you, Fat Albert. It's been 10 at least. That was funnier than shit. But Ronnie P. Gossett was a hell of a fucking ribber. And every time he went to B's Buffet, and Joe LeDuc, he slid in one time there too with us. Ronnie would buy all the time, and he was nothing but telling stories. Wow, Ronnie.
Kayfabe this question earlier, but Drew Wilson made it a super chat, so that's one way to get the question asked.
That's right.
What's your opinion on Hannibal?
Hannibal's got about 300 and over 350 to almost 400,000 followers.
Who gives a rat's ass? What's your opinion on him? You always throw that follower thing out there. He's been all right. What's your opinion on?
Did he ask my opinion?
Yeah, but that's not
an answer for me.
That's not an opinion. That's a fact. He's got 300,000 followers.
So what I'm saying, to me, when he does it, he's a legitimate badass to begin with.
You think?
Oh yeah. But anyway, he boring as fuck. No entertainment, no inflection with the voice, this or that. But whatever he's doing, he's been quite successful at it. So what the fuck? And when I did interviews with him, he paid me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so there you go.
Hell yeah. That's the whole story.
There's your opinion of Hannibal.
Would I be on Hannibal's thing? Any damn time. What do I need? Money, 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 money.
Really?
You do the violin like that, but me, that's the money grab.
Yeah, Drew. Rip will put you over too with this super chat. You keep paying him, he'll put you over.
Yeah, hell yes, hell yeah.
I don't know how tough he really is, but I don't know if I don't know that I've heard anybody call Hannibal a badass, but
well, if you go into his thing he was one of their top amateurs. He was, but then again, a Canadian amateur is not like American amateur.
All right, well. About time to wrap this thing up. Hey, unfortunately, next week, Rip thought Thanksgiving was yesterday, but next week is actually Thanksgiving. So we are not having a show. I won't be around. I'll be out of town. I'll be at the Kings. But in the meantime and in between times, for Thanksgiving, maybe help Rip go buy him a turkey or something. Get you a Wrestling with Rip Rogers t-shirt. Or while you still can, get this old book. Yeah. Because the new book's going to come out soon. So get this old one.
Yeah. Then you can have both volumes, 1 and 2.
Then you can have both of them.
Uh-huh.
Shirt, book,
And
Buy
if
them both.
If you happen to be into Seymour, you can go down and get Hustler beer too.
Well, that didn't make you any money, Rip.
Oh, okay.
And if you haven't watched this video, go watch it. Inside Rip's fanny pack. It was a classic. Go watch this on our channel.
That was.
Comment on it, share it, all that good
was.
stuff.
I was like Captain Kangaroo, and he'd be pulling the Banana Man would be on there, and he would be pulling shit out. That was when I was 8-year-old, so it might have been a little bit different. I still think Hannibal was over. I think you're still over, and I think you're just kayfabing me. You're going somewhere exotic with your wife.
Hey, tomorrow night the Outrunners are on pay-per-view too.
The Outrunners on pay-per-view.
Rip's been hanging out
Oh!
with Turbo and Floyd. Go to his
Yeah.
Twitter, Turbo and Floyd and Rip.
And Floyd.
Hanging and banging.
That I
Plugged
can't
it.
get
He
this
plugged the
shit
show,
closed.
you know.
So I money
That's
fold
right.
and rubber
He's
band
over.
wrap.
He was
And
at the
when
gym. He bought me Taco Bell. It doesn't get any better than that. So Frank's Pickle Barrel will ask. All the top stars were here. It don't get any better than
What do you
that.
think? Is the Outrunners going to come away this weekend as the AEW Tag Team Champs, Rip?
I think they are.
Holy
I
shit.
think, and I just look
You
at-
heard it here
look
first,
at the
ladies and
honesty
gentlemen.
They come on as extras. All of a sudden, there they are, the most over team in AEW.
Sorry, kid, it ain't my Fordham County Fair.
You heard it here first. Tomorrow night, AEW Tag Team Champions, the Outrunners.
The greatest card in many, many months.
Thanks for joining us today.
It don't get any better than this.
Thanks for the super chats. Dane Parks, Bull Digging, Drew Wilson, Bull Digging, Drew Wilson. And have a great weekend and a great Thanksgiving, Rip.
Maybe Frank Pickle Barrel asked, is he getting the shirt for the wife or whatever?
It was Clayton that was getting the triple
Okay.
extra large.
Okay.
He wanted a triple extra tall and large. He must be married to Andre the Giant's daughter or something. Sorry, Clayton, just kidding.
big gold and a billfold. So swole that I can't get the shit
Just
closed.
calling the
So
wife
I
and
money
really
fold